This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. All right, let's go ahead and open up that waiting room to our live Zoom. Hello, everybody. So everybody is coming in. Welcome to Daily with Doc. And if you are watching us on a live stream on a platform other than Zoom, and you would like to join us live, you are more than welcome to do so by going to zoom.dailywithdoc.com. That is Zoom, ZOOM.dailywithdoc.com. Zoom.dailywithdoc.com. So hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Becca Dukes. This program is being sponsored by DailywithDoc.com, where you will find good foods, bad foods list, replays of our previous shows, and also some articles that are helping build your toolbox to a better health journey. As today's program, we are going to be talking with Dr. Joel Wallach and loading that nutritional toolbox with your guides to optimal health. So folks, get ready to learn some things that you can add to your toolbox to add more knowledge to yourself. Because that's one thing about knowledge is, you can read, you can gain knowledge, and nobody can take it away from you. So I am hoping that when you are listening, that you're really taking note of the value that is found in the things that we're going to be sharing on today's Daily with Doc. Now, if you were invited by somebody specific, we want to make sure that you get back with the person that invited you to this program. They cared enough and took the time to share this program with you. So care enough and take the time to get back with them, tell them thank you, and also share with them what you liked best about the program and ask your questions on how you also can find a better health journey. Now, after this morning's conversation, going back and forth with Dr. Wallach, we're going to be taking some questions from our audience. So if you're here live with us and you have a question that you would like to ask Dr. Wallach, raise your hand. I will be calling them in the order that the hands are raised. If you don't want to raise your hand or don't know how to raise your hand, and you can put it in the chat, you do want to make sure that you have that chat open so that you can read the transcription that is being shared in that chat. And if you're out on the different platforms, again, you can join us live, or you can write your questions on that platform. If you're on Rumble or YouTube or Facebook, we have members of our co-host team watching those different platforms and bringing those questions into the show as well. So without further ado, it is my honor and privilege. Oh, before I forget, Pharmacist Ben Bites tonight, 6 p.m. Is that Pacific, AJ?
Eastern, 6
p.m. Eastern. So that's 3 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Mountain, 5 o'clock Central, and 6 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure that you are following us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, as we do go live on those platforms and many, but those are the three major ones that you can find us easily on. And as you subscribe to our channels, whether it's Critical Health News or Daily with Doc, make sure that you have the opportunity or have those notifications turned on so that you get the opportunity to watch this program live as it is happening. Because again, questions are being taken during that time and asked on the program. So now, without further ado, it is my honor and privilege to bring to you the doctor that started the whole crusade that we are on, the one whose information that I put in my own toolbox and then acted on it helped me overcome 13 different poor health conditions, lose 100 pounds, and find something that I can do with purpose and be just abundantly blessed by helping others because of what I went through. So Dr. Joel Wallach has a Bachelor of Science in Plant and Soil Sciences. He also has a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. He has 3 postdoctorates in pathology with over 452 species that he has done almost 30,000 autopsies on or reviewed the autopsies of. He also is a naturopathic doctor, licensed in several different states. So I can't imagine somebody that has done so much keeping all that information to himself. And this man did not, as he has written 25 books, one of them being held as a national treasure in the Smithsonian Museum, which is the diseases of exotic animals. And 24 of them that we have at our fingertips to use for our own use. And I am going to bring Dr. Wallach on the screen with me so that as I am asking him about specific books, he can tell me about them, give me a little history about them to help you decide which of his publications are going to be the best match for you and adding to your toolbox. So Dr. Joel Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. It's one of those things where this is family. I really, really, really enjoy this, even on days when I'm just a listener, as well as being a participant. So thank you for all you do. Thank you, team, for everybody all over the world. It's amazing that we have millions of people all over the world watching this right now.
Well, I think it's absolutely fabulous. You know, technology has allowed us to really reach the masses, Dr. Wallach, Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time here on zoom.dailywithdoc.com. So, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, ma'am.
You have several books that you have written. And I want to talk about a few of them before we start taking questions from our live audience. The first one that I want to talk about is not your very first publication, but actually your very first bestseller, which was also part of the greatest health lecture ever given. And that's Daily with Doc, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. So tell me about Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Why did you write it? And how did you get the name?
Well, that name was around in the health professional industry for a long time. Because everybody knew that doctors didn't always tell the truth. And the only time you could guarantee that a doctor wasn't lying was if they're dead. And so that little phrase had been around for a long time. And it made sense to me that we actually took information and showed what doctors were saying and then relate that to or compare it to the actual truth. And so that's the purpose of this book, is take what doctors tell you and then look at the truth. You have to appreciate doctors want to treat your symptoms, which you can get symptom benefit, like take an aspirin, you get pain in your knees, you get pain relief in just a couple of minutes. People are so grateful to the aspirin people because it gives them good relief, but it doesn't solve the problem. So the problem gets worse and worse, and then suddenly they need 3 aspirins, and suddenly they need injections, and then the doctor says, well, it's time to have a knee replacement and all that kind of stuff. And so doctors get years and years and years and years of milking that knee and getting money for milking that knee when you can actually fix it with a little bit of nutrition in a couple of days or a couple of weeks. And then you don't have to worry about spending thousands of dollars every month to deal with that knee or take a knee replacement and then suffer and die early. And so you want to live, everybody has the capacity to live well beyond 100. Okay, you don't have to move to the land flowing with milk and honey to live past 100, but you do have to stay away from the bad stuff. You do have to do things correctly. And this is the purpose of the book and the CD that goes along with it. There's a CD that goes along with it and a DVD that goes along with it. Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And it just flies out the door. And some days we'll sell 2 or 3 cases of them to one person. Okay. And I don't know if they have a bookstore or they're bringing them to a school or where they're taking all these cases of Dead Doctors Don't Lie, but that book is just flying out the door.
So, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Tell us about some of the information that's in it.
Okay, well, basically, it'll take, say, arthritis and osteoporosis. Doctors are saying, well, it's a genetic thing, it's an aging thing. There's not much you can do about it except take some relief. But it is not an aging thing. It's not a genetic thing. It's a simple nutritional deficiency. And we learned this 2 ways. Number one, in animals. Okay, we don't have health insurance for animals with osteoporosis or arthritis. What we did learn, and I learned as a kid when I was like 3 years old, what are we giving our farm animals when they have arthritis? Well, you give them minerals. And the arthritis went away. Well, I'm 3 years old. I'm watching that. And I'm going to the gym with my father, who's a world champion boxer, and they're all taking supplements. So I started taking supplements when I was 3 years old because I'm watching everybody else taking them. And so this is the story of this book. And it's one of those things where between the book and the CDs and DVDs, we've sold over 374 million copies.
At least. On my copy, which my copy is a few years since it was published, is 350 million.
There you go. If that was how long ago it was published? 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
This copy was published, and I should know this because I've looked it up before, in 2016.
Okay, 8 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, and so there's been a lot of those sold since then, both as the book, both as a CD, and we're coming up on AI here. And this is going to be, again, this book is going to start flying out the door when you're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And this book gets right down to it, okay? It doesn't matter what the doctor said. If he says it's genetic, walk out the door. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. The only things that are genetic is eye color, skin color, your gender, you're a boy or girl, hair color. That's it. That is it. All other things have to do with nutritional deficiencies, poisons, and this, that, and the other. And so this is why we wrote these books. So you can do this out of your own home, save an enormous amount of money, add 25 to 50 healthful years to your life. And that just made me feel very good.
All right. Awesome. So Dead Doctors Don't Lie, folks. You can go to Dr. Wallach's website, drjwallach.com, or give them a call at 1-800-755-4656. And that's drjwallach.com. You can also find them on Amazon. So that inventory does come from drjwallach.com as well. So Dr. Wallach, next book. Let's talk about my favorite, Epigenetics. Now, Epigenetics, it's a little thicker. It goes a little more into the scientific side of stuff. But tell us about epigenetics. What is epigenetics, Doc?
Well, epigenetics is a clarification, okay, of what's going on with genetics. Okay, this actually takes the place of genetics in the medical world. I'm one of the founding fathers of this science because I could take somebody that has terrible, like Theo Ratliff, great professional basketball player, had terrible arthritis, bone-to-bone arthritis in both his knees and one hip. It's just a shooting arm, shoulder. And he lost his position in his professional basketball team because he couldn't perform at his very best because of all this arthritis in his joints. And so I'm kind of looking at him and figuring out what are we going to do for him? Because one of his teammates brought him to us because they kicked him off the team because he couldn't play anymore. So they kicked him off the team so they didn't have to pay him anymore. And said, okay, we had to do two things. Number one, we had to make him comfortable and get rid of all the pain, but also we had to rebuild all these joints. How do we do that? Well, nobody was rebuilding joints. Everybody was replacing joints. Nobody was rebuilding joints. Nobody was rebuilding joints. Nobody was rebuilding joints. So I decided we're going to rebuild joints. So I came up with glucogel. Glucogel replaced the, what is it? When you boil
Bone broth.
Yeah, bone broth. It replaces bone broth. Okay. And so the glucogel replaced bone broth. We began to add the glucogel to our Healthy Start Pack, which was our first great multiple, our Healthy Start Pack. Okay. It was before the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the Healthy Start Pack. So when we added the glucogel to the Healthy Start Pack, we called it the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And we got one of Theo's friends on the basketball team brought him to me. We got him on the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And within days, he felt better. Within weeks, he felt better. In 3 months' time, he went back and passed the exam and got his position on his team back, professional team. And he was getting tired at the end of the game because he's playing the whole game now. And so we made the Rebound for him. Okay, a nice, healthy sports drink, right? There's 30 of these sticks in a box. So I go through 2 of those boxes a month. So I take 2 of these a day, okay, for energy. And in 90 days, he got his position back on the team. Now, everybody's sitting down. Over a period of 9 years, he made $100 million in contracts because of the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and the Rebound. That's pretty good for a new product on the market for a professional athlete whose career was, quote, finished, unquote, because he had this genetic collapse in his joints. Okay, it was all nonsense. And so, and then when he got to where he, even off season, he'd go around the world and tell his story to other teams around the world. So their players got on our programs. And it's one of our biggest sellers is a Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, more glucogel, CM cream. Okay. And then now we have the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, the healthy, let's see here, Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and the glucogel.
And the Pig Pack Plus, Dr. Wallach. The Pig Pack Plus is where I started.
Okay, the Pig Pack Plus. The Pig Pack Plus was a Healthy Start Pack, and the glucogel, another name for it. Okay.
In the liquid concentrate form. Yes.
Exactly, instead of capsules. And so that really, in fact, I was on George Norrie's show last night. It has 125 million people, okay, in his group. 125 million people. So I was on George Norrie and told that story about Theo Ratliff. He says, oh, yeah, I remember that, Wallach. I remember that. And so we told it again later in the show. We told the story twice about Theo Ratliff. So I'm sure when I get back to Wellness Publications today that we'll have a big stack of orders for the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and glucogel and all that kind of stuff because it's available to you now. And just think about it. Prior to this, your life was over when you had arthritis of the major joints. Your life was over. You were crippled. You're in the house. You'd lost your job. You couldn't hold your grandkids on your knees. You couldn't walk around the block, all that kind of stuff. And now we have, things going on where, for instance, if you have things like diabetes and diabetes, and you have high blood pressure, and you have abdominal obesity, you have the metabolic syndrome. Okay, now this goes to the old Bible, 2,000 years ago, was written up. They didn't have the name of the metabolic syndrome, but they had people who had all these problems written up in the old Bible. Hell's Kitchen, chapter 14, read that first, then read the rest of the book, but read chapter 14 first, and your jaw will drop and hit the ground. Okay, this book was published in 2004. And then 4 years later, in 2008, the book Immortality was published. And you want to go to chapter 11 on that one and read chapter 11 first, because it goes back to 200,000 and 300,000 years ago, and all the cavemen, what they were doing to eliminate pain and grow gardens. Okay, well, they were using wood and coal as fuel, and they were putting the ashes in the gardens, and they were putting ashes in their food, and the ashes had minerals in it. In some places, they had minerals from the mountains coming down the side of the mountains, and so they were getting minerals because they're putting the wood ashes and coal ashes into their food and into their gardens. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, when Thomas Edison pulled the switch in the first commercial electric jetting plants, that was kind of the end of the nutrition supporting healthy bone and joints. Okay. Now, people didn't know that's what they were doing with wood ashes, but they were using it, and they were using the collagen. They were using the bone and joint.
Well, they were using the bone broth.
Yeah, exactly. Bone broth. They were getting all that kind of stuff, and they didn't know what they were doing. They were doing it, but they didn't realize what it was actually helping them. It was the minerals that they was taking the bones, and that goes back 200,000 years ago. They were using bone broth.
Wow. So, okay, we're talking about arthritis, and let me just recap a little bit. Okay, arthritis, bone and joint issues. They're commonly seen as just an old age thing. There's nothing you can do with it. Epigenetics has proven that those things that are quote unquote genetic, because a lot of people said, well, a lot of doctors, I should say, even my own said, well, it runs in your family. Well,
they're all eating the same recipe from grandma. That's why. They're all eating the same recipe. That's why they all have the same problem.
Well, and my grandmother was a nurse, rest her soul, and she did what she was taught in school.
Yeah, they didn't teach anything about that.
Oh, well, they didn't. And she had a stroke in her 50s, late 50s, which then she passed away in her early 60s. And those last years, she was in bed, not able to speak, not able to work, not able to communicate or even play with her kids because of a massive stroke that left her completely disabled.
Well, if you'd have given her, the healthy bone and joint pack, rub the plant-derived colloidal minerals on her belly 3 or 4 times a day, give her the Cal Toddy, okay?
If I would have known about this when I was 8, Dr. Wallach, which was before longevity time, I absolutely would have done that for her. So just lessons that Dr. Wallach shares now can be so impactful on our futures, folks, that because people in our families have had different poor health conditions, it should not bring any doom and gloom on us, because we now know the cause and what we can do to help ourselves in this
genetics
journey.
has nothing to do with it.
Genetics have nothing to do with it, and that's what epigenetics is the death of the theory of the genetic theory. Death. Let me just read it. You got it right here. So it's the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. That's what epigenetics is. And Dr. Wallach is one of the founding fathers of it.
Okay, well, that's getting the Klaus Schwartz Award for that. Okay, and epigenetics is taking a disease that's said to be caused by genetics, giving them a nutritional approach, and it goes away in a couple of weeks after they've had the disease for 20 years or 25 years. And just in a couple of weeks, we had people with type 2 diabetes they've told it was genetic in their family. They had it for 25 years. We get them on our program, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and the Sweeties, get rid of all the bad foods. And in 2 weeks' time, they don't have diabetes anymore. They have the metabolic syndrome.
It took me longer than 2 weeks, Doc, but I know that there are some people that have responded faster than I did.
Was it 90 days or less?
It was 90 days or less. Yes, it was.
How long did you have it? How long did you have the disease?
Well, I had been dealing with juvenile arthritis and symptoms of it since I was at least 8 years old that I know of.
So that would have been 20, 30, 40.
You're funny.
40
So
years.
I found longevity 8 years ago, and that would have been, I was
Years did you
40.
have? How many years did you have arthritis, and how long did it take when you got on the program to get rid of it?
36 years.
You had it for 36 years, and when you got on a program, Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, more glucogel, okay, how long did it take to get rid of it?
Well, my pain and everything subsided, Dr. Wallach, in about 9 weeks.
After 50 years?
Yep. No, 36.
After 36 years, in just a couple of weeks, it goes away. Were you shocked?
Yeah. I was very thankful, full of gratitude.
What did your doctors say?
Yeah, I stopped going to them, so I don't know.
So they didn't call you and say, you better get here. Are you alive or dead?
Yeah, no. You know, when you don't have insurance, you don't have doctors following up with you because to collect that insurance money.
Mhm.
But I am so thankful, Dr. Wallach, that I did find your program, because it has allowed me to be able to play with my grandkids and have fun with them, even in the winter. So,
And they don't have arthritis and diabetes.
no, they don't.
Are they getting the supplements?
They do get, not on a regular basis like Nana would want them to, but yes, they have them. And when I visit, they ask for them. So I'm like, you got them in your cupboard. You don't have to wait for me to come visit. So, Dr. Wallach, let's talk about, which is one of the books that I first caught my attention. Of course, Epigenetics is my favorite, but the one that first caught my attention, because I was an herbalist, is Let's Play Herbal Doctor.
Hmm.
Tell me about Let's Play Herbal Doctor.
Are sort of the founding fathers of prescription medications. When pharmacists and pharmaceutical companies saw there's a particular herb that did a good job, they came up with a prescription product that they would make in the laboratory. And so then they had something that they could make and sell, and make the profit gradient was higher, as opposed to, oh, you want to use this herb, so everybody's out there in the woods collecting those herbs, and then the doctors and the pharmacists were getting left out of the loop. So they stopped telling them which herbs they were and gave them medicines which was based on the principles in those herbs. So we want everybody to know that they can, stock these herbs in the house. If you have a history of these diseases, use them on a regular basis. They're not, what should I say? They're not something that's going to get you to be connected with it forever. Okay. You use it. I use quite a few herbs. I have on my kitchen table. If you're one of these days, we're going to take a picture of the kitchen table. We have, I think it's like 40 something bottles of different products that I use twice a day. Okay. And
I have a picture somewhere, Doc.
Okay. So we need to show people, Wallach doesn't just talk about it. He's doing it. He's 85 years old, using the Chinese method. The Chinese give you credit for your 9 months of pregnancy. When you're born, you're 9 months old. When somebody asks you in America, how old are you? You say, well, my birth date is. So you're just telling them how old you are from your birth date. You're not giving yourself the credit for the 9 months of gestation after the sperm fertilized the egg. That's one of the most important times of your life. Okay. Because you're farming from two cells to one cell to suddenly now you're making brain, heart, liver, lungs, kidneys, muscles, bones, skin, glands of all kinds, and gender issues.
Mm-hmm.
This happens, okay, when the sperm fertilizes the egg. Okay, if your mom doesn't have all the good stuff there for you to dip into at that point, you can be one of these little girls who think you're a boy. You could be one of these little boys who think you're a girl. And, they're in the newspaper every day because the boys want to be on a team of girls because they think they're a girl, and girls want to be on the team of the boys because they think they're a boy, and so forth. It's a mess. And this, I just point directly to pharmacists, I point directly to nurses, to doctors, because they should be having all these single girls Okay, even if they're just born, they need to be getting all these nutrients. Well, how does a little 1-year-old get all these nutrients? Well, we have the kids toddy. Give them the kids toddy, okay, and then they can have some of the rebound, just a little bit. Don't let them take a whole lot when they're little, but they can take a little bit of the rebound. If they don't go to sleep at night, you give them too much, okay. But anyway,
Well, I like the tangy tangerine, Dr. Wallach. So, and earlier in the day still, because folks, when you give your...
That's one of my 40 bottles on my table. I take 3 of those twice a day.
So, folks, when you give your body what it absolutely needs, the body can do some amazing things. Now, it's not the supplements, it's not Dr. Wallach that does the curing. We can't even use that word. But if you give your body what it needs, the body itself can do some amazing things.
Yeah. And I pay for my supplements like everybody else. I don't get them for free. And so people say, well, yeah, you can take 40 different products because you're getting it for free. No, I have to pay for them like everybody else. But to me, the extra 25 to 50 years is worth what, $6 a day or whatever it is for those couple of pills of this one, that one, this one, that one, this one, that one. Okay, so it's
for you, it's quite a bit more than $6 a pill, but or a day.
So let's say it's 10.
No, you get the idea.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right, Doc?
That's correct. It's much better.
So, folks, this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. But you can even go to pubmed.gov, look up the nutrients that are within these products, and you will find how powerful they really are. And then you take those powerful nutrients and you blend them synergistically together with herbs and probiotics and enzymes to help your body be able to absorb them even better. Plus, being in a plant-derived form where the plants have already done the hard work, so all you have to do is absorb, the body can do some amazing, amazing things. You can find Dr. Wallach's books again at drjwallach.com or by calling 800-755-4656 and get your toolbox filled with information, folks. One thing that I love about what Dr. Wallach has done, let's take Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Okay. In his book, you can look up different poor health conditions, and he goes through and he tells you what it is, and then also nutrition needed for it. And then you take that, you go through and look at those nutrients. You go to DailywithDoc.com, do a search for those nutrients, and you come up with the products that have those nutrients in them. So there's a lot of amazing stuff, Dr. Wallach, that you put in this book to help us. And I greatly appreciate it because it definitely has helped me. It allows me to be able to help my clients, allows my coaches to be able to help their clients. And together, as we are building this army that you have started, we're able to help people around the world.
Well, thank you. And thank you for making sure those books are available, because that's how, just think about it. How does God leverage his wants and information to the people? He has a Bible.
The Bible.
Yeah, it's a book. Okay, now, if God needed a book to get the information out there to everybody, if we're, which I say, astute enough and observing, if God needs a book, okay, to make sure that everybody gets the information, because even God can't be every place at every moment, guess what? We have to use books too. And so that's why it's hard for us to come up with one book that covers everything. So as you say, I think we have 25 or 26, maybe even 27 now, best-selling books, because I don't know if they've counted the metabolic syndrome.
25 includes the metabolic syndrome.
Oh, okay. 25 includes the metabolic syndrome. Thank you. And I was on with George Norrie last night. He was really excited. And he has 125,000 people in his organization. No, I take that back. 125 million. 120 million people in his organization. Okay. And it's one of those things where I get on his show once every 5 or 6 weeks. And I'll be on again 6 weeks from now, because last night was a big night. And he kept me for a half hour longer than normally, because we were getting so many calls coming in like crazy for all these different diseases. And he was just, and afterwards, their manager called me and said, "Okay, Wallach, we really, really can't thank you enough. It was a great show. Thank you." I just really appreciated that they called me and thanked me for all that we did last night. It went from 10 to midnight our time. And normally he only gives me a half hour in the second hour. I got the whole 2 hours.
That's awesome, Dr. Wallach. And folks, you can hear Dr. Wallach or every 6 weeks, and then every day in between. So every 3 weeks, we have either Dr. Wallach or pharmacist Ben Fuchs on the Coast to Coast show with George Norrie. I love George, just a great guy. And you can tune in. You can go to iHeartRadio.com or iHeart, and look up Coast to Coast and find a station that carries the Coast to Coast programming. Then whenever Dr. Wallach or Pharmacist Ben is on, you're able to tune in and listen. If you would like to get an email that gives an announcement about when they are on, make sure you go to criticalhealthnews.com, sign up for the newsletter. Not only are you going to get the notification when they're on Coast to Coast, but you're also going to get part of their newsletter where they're sharing more articles and information to help you and put that information into your toolbox. We also have, if you go to DailywithDoc.com, sign up for our email list. We send out reminders of our Daily with Doc programming and also send links to previous shows so that you can easily find them. And that's with the full description. So there's lots of information and lots of things that we are doing to provide resources to those who are seeking out a better health journey. So we welcome you to get back with a person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, I have a call team that's standing by at 855-949-3377, where we didn't talk a whole lot about products in the first part of this show. Dr. Wallach started a company called Longevity. Longevity then, with Dr. Wallach and some of their formulators, put together products that Dr. Wallach had noticed the nutrients that needed to be in the body, and they were, for most of them, missing from our food sources. They formulated products. He was able to use them in his clinics. He was getting fabulous results. He wanted to go beyond the four walls of his clinics. So he started this crusade called Longevity, where he sends thank you checks, and he's removed himself from Longevity as far as ownership and running it. He's turned that over to his son and daughter-in-law, where now he is free to just do lectures like he does on Daily with Doc, like he does on the George Norrie Coast to Coast show, and just really focus on getting that information out for all of us to be able to hear and then take action on. So folks, like I said, if you're not referred by somebody, give our call team a call at 855-949-3377. And this is for people who have never tried the products before, who want to get on a better health journey or want to join the crusade to help others find a better health journey as well and receive a thank you check. There is absolutely nothing wrong with doing good in this world and getting a thank you check. Whether it's just a little bit or enough to replace an income, that's your choice. But it's a great purpose, and it's a purpose that I'm proud to be able to have and carry on Dr. Wallach's legacy for many, many years to come, Doc.
Thank you. I figure I'll be around for another 25 years. I think that'll be about right, 25 more years.
About 5 more years. Well, I plan on being here another 75 years. So we've got this. So let's go to some questions, Dr. Wallach. And we've had quite a few come in. Let's see, we have some hands up. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the hands, as I know that they are bringing in questions from the field. And Phyllis, what question do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
Hello, Doc.
Hi.
I plan to make it to 125. How's that?
Perfect. That's great. It's doable. Right now, there's a little Hunza village, okay, in the Himalayan mountains. The average lifespan of the entire village is 122 years. They've sent all kinds of experts out there to double check that. That's correct. Okay. And it's because
That sounds good.
because they're living in a place where the glacial milk is coming down the side of the mountain. It's not cow's milk or camel's milk. It's glacial milk. It's ground up rocks, but it has 75 minerals in it. And that's why they're living to be 122.
And we have the milk and honey right here at home.
That's right.
Abe on YouTube would like to tap into your veterinarian skills. So you get to put your animal doctor hat on.
Okay.
He has a 22-year-old red slider turtle with an infection in the left eye. The vets are recommending meds, and he specifically mentions erythromycin ointment. What do you have to say to that?
Ho hum.
Oh,
Probably not going to be very good, but I like colloidal silver. Okay. It you could put it in that turtle's eye and hold that turtle. If it's a little bitty guy, you can hold it on your lap. If it's a big guy, you kind of just make sure it stays out of the water for about a half hour. Let them absorb all that colloidal silver into the eye, and then put it into the eye again before you get him into the water. And you can put that colloidal silver in his eye 2-3 times a day. Okay, and it will kill all the bugs. It has no alcohol in it. It doesn't have. You can put it in your eye. Okay, it won't hurt. You can put it in an open wound, won't sting. Has no alcohol in it. But the colloidal silver has been used as a what should I say, an anti-bug treatment for over 600 years. That's how the plagues used to go away. There's some places in Europe where the plague only was there for a couple of weeks and it would go away. Well, that's because they were all using colloidal silver. Okay, somebody had silver nuggets put in a keg of water, and they were using that. And when they used that keg of water that had the nuggets of silver in there from the silver mine, the plague went away. And so the word got out. Okay, and the churches started spreading the information. The alcoholics started spreading the information. And this is why the plagues in certain areas only lasted for a week or two. Okay, and in other places where half the village would die because they were not using the colloidal silver.
wow, that's powerful. And I think all of us need colloidal silver in our medicine cabinets. Becca, do you think that's Doc's first turtle question ever?
No, I think that's the second one that we've had on Daily with Doc. I think that's the second turtle question. And so I have a cousin that has tortoises, and he's asked me questions, and I've been able to give him information. And colloidal silver is one of the things that Dr. Wallach is holding up. It is a 4-ounce bottle, has a dropper. It just takes a few drops. Dr. Wallach, he takes it before each meal. Does a dropper full, just in case there's any type of bacteria hanging out in that food. He is prepared so that he's not going to get any food poisoning, right, Doc?
Yeah, exactly. It gets rid of food poisoning and also just chronic low-grade infections. You know, people, well, yeah, I just have sinus problems. I have a sore throat every once in a while. And so this is one of those things where this colloidal silver, you can put it in your eyes. It just has no alcohol in it. You can put little kids' eyes. They get a cold, you can put it on their throats. down their throats, and it'll get rid of the viruses. This colloidal silver kills all viruses, all fungus, all yeast, all bacteria, and penicillin only kills 2 bacteria. Penicillin only kills 2 bacteria. Colloidal silver kills them all. So why would you go spend time, pay the doctor to give you a prescription for a drug that only kills 2 bacteria? We can spend a few pennies a day, literally a few pennies a day, with the colloidal silver to kill all the bacteria.
Muted. I got muted. So does that kill the good and the bad bacteria?
It kills all the bacteria. You can always renew the good bacteria if you want. It's one of those things where some like it hot, some don't. Some like the good bacteria, some don't. I've been using colloidal silver for over 40 years, and it's one of those things where I just don't have any problems, even though I go to events and people come to me who've been at events where half the people there are sick, okay, and they're coughing and hacking. And I haven't had to go to a hospital since I was born.
There you go, Dr. Wallach. So we've got some more questions coming up, and I want to add to the places that you can hear Dr. Wallach on the Coast to Coast programming with George Norrie, and that is our own KSCO.com. That is a radio program that actually is part of the sponsorship of this radio program that started us. DailywithDoc.com. So KSCO.com, folks. You can also hear Dr. Wallach on the Coast to Coast programming. So next question, let's go over to AJ. AJ, what questions are you bringing in today?
Hey, Dr. Wallach, I'm not going to ask my question. I don't have a question because I was raising my hand to make sure that Jake got his question in because he tried to reach you last night on George Norrie and he was unable to. So he's going to ask his question. So I hope you got your pen ready. But
Yes,
I did want to make my comment that my favorite Dr. Wallach books are Let's Play Doctor, Black Gene Lies, and Hell's Kitchen. Those are my favorite Dr. Wallach books. And don't ask me my favorite Dr. Wallach formulated.
We sold a lot of those 2 books last night through George Norrie. Both those books went out the door like crazy.
Yep. So yeah, you're a prolific writer and a prolific researcher and a great man. So I'm glad to be on the team.
Well, you're very kind, and for the person of your experience with all the various famous people you deal with, I take that with all kinds of thank yous.
Awesome. Thank you so much, AJ. And Jake, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello, Jake. You should have something pop up on your screen saying the host would like you to unmute. Uh-oh. I think we lost him. Did we lose him? Nope, he's still there. Jake, go ahead and unmute yourself. All right. Well, while Jake is trying to unmute himself, Dr. Wallach, I have a question in regards to multiple sclerosis. So we have a woman that's 160 years old.
100, huh?
No. Just making sure you're paying attention. She is 60 years old at 160 pounds and has been told she has multiple sclerosis. Okay, so what is multiple sclerosis and what would you recommend?
Okay, well, multiple sclerosis is kind of like the same disease as Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease and ALS, but it's just different parts of the brain have more severe issues, so you get a little different symptoms. Okay, doctors are diagnosing these things: Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, Bell's palsy. There's 40 different diseases that are caused by demyelinization of the brain, where the white matter of the brain is going away, but it doesn't all go away at the same time. It's a little bit here, a little bit here, a lot over here. And so that's why you have different diseases. Right now, Parkinson's disease is going crazy. For 100 years in America, we had 60,000 new cases of Parkinson's disease each year in America. Last year, it went up to 90,000, went up 50% last year. Okay, that's because doctors started giving away drugs to eliminate cholesterol out of people's life. Well, cholesterol is your best friend, makes up 85% of your brain. 85% of your brain is cholesterol. 85% of your brain is cholesterol. 85% of your brain is cholesterol. And then 95% of your sex hormones, whether you're a boy or girl, is cholesterol. You want cholesterol. You just don't want it fried. If you eat it fried, it's dangerous. But cholesterol makes up 95% of your sex hormones, makes 85% of your brain. Why would you want to get rid of cholesterol? Well, doctors got it all wrong. They were taught incorrectly in school. Okay, anybody who writes a prescription, okay, to get rid of cholesterol should go to jail or have their license suspended for a year or something while they go back to school. Okay, that's incorrect. So it's MS, right? Multiple sclerosis, this lady has?
Sclerosis, yes.
Okay, multiple sclerosis. She weighs 160. She's not
160
years old. She weighs 160. Okay. So let's get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no gluten, no wheat, butter, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbon drinks. Even that one's got to go. Carbonation neutralize your stomach acid so you cannot digest food or absorb minerals particularly. Then, excuse me, the MS, multiple sclerosis, I want her to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month, take a full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner time. I want her to have our, let's see here, she needs our I-26. I-26, I want her to have 3 of the chewables at breakfast, 3 of the chewables at lunch, and 3 of the chewables at dinner time, or she can have 3 of the capsules at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She can have 3 scoops of the powder at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but she needs 3 doses a day of the I-26, and it will very quickly rebuild her, her white matter of the brain, and Parkinson's disease goes away very quickly, okay? And as long as she stays on the program, the Parkinson's disease will go away and stay away.
How about multiple sclerosis? Does it go away rather quickly as well?
Yeah, multiple sclerosis is kind of like Parkinson's disease. It goes away at about the same rate. And if people are eating gluten, it may take months. Okay, it may not get the complete thing. So you got to get rid of the bad stuff to maximize absorption and stop all the damage to the brain. And again, people, when they have these diseases and it begins to show improvement in just days, it blows their mind. Well, I went to the best neurological doctors from this medical school, blah, 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 and he could relieve some of my symptoms, but he said it was a genetic thing. There was no way we could cure it. Well, he was taught incorrectly at school. They should suspend his license, make him go back to school, okay, or at least get my CDs.
School, Doc. I think he needs to go to a different school because they taught him incorrectly. He just needs to go to a different.
Well, he's got to listen to my CDs or something. This doctor is giving misinformation.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. And now let's try Jake again. Jake, can you unmute? You are unmuted.
Yes, I finally figured it out. Yes. Good afternoon,
Perfect.
everyone. And good afternoon, Dr. Wallach.
Yes, sir.
What I'd like to know is, what are your feelings about homeopathy versus your program?
I missed that. What
homeopathy, homeopathic medicine. Homeopathic medicine versus your program.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, homeopathy has some value, okay, because it can help you relieve symptoms, okay? But if you have a deficiency of selenium, taking a homeopathic medicine can help you relieve symptoms, but it's not going to make it go away or prevent it from getting worse. Because if you're deficient in selenium, you're going to have all kinds of problems. There's about 25 different diseases you can get. You have a deficiency of selenium. And taking homeopathy is not going to make it all go away. You can relieve symptoms. So you have to make a differentiation between relieving symptoms and getting rid of the disease. If you believe it's genetic, you're happy to get rid of symptoms. But if you understand that it's not genetic, and doctors tell you because they're taught incorrectly in school that it's a genetic thing, you're in trouble, okay? So what you want to do is use the 90 essential nutrients, okay? And when you have a particular disease, you want to take more of something, okay? And this is why we came up with all these books. We have 25 best-selling books. Why are they best-selling books? Because we sell 100,000 copies a year. Okay, that makes them a bestseller. Okay, and why do people buy them? Because the information works.
I see. Now, may I ask just a couple more questions? When a person has been through a nervous breakdown, what products do you recommend?
Okay, when it has what kind of breakdown?
A nervous breakdown.
Oh, okay. Okay, nervous breakdown. Okay, doctors say you have a nervous breakdown when you're a little bit crazy. You're okay, and this is you need the get rid of all the bad stuff. Take the 90 essential nutrients, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. Take the I-26, rebuild the brain, and the odds are it'll go away. So you have to appreciate they didn't know about the I-26. They didn't know about selenium hundreds of years ago. Okay, I'm the guy that made them understand selenium. Okay, and so it's one of those things where you go back 25 years, 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years, 200,000 years. They didn't know anything about this stuff. They just saw symptoms. And so they were happy to get symptom relief, even though they would die younger, but they were asymptomatic. The symptoms would go away. And so you have to appreciate that now we're 200,000 years later. We have a lot more information. That's why we put it in the books, because doctors are still giving them the old information from 200,000 years ago. And this is part of a problem. The doctors are giving out information that helps people feel good for a while because they're getting rid of symptoms, reducing the severity of the symptoms. But why don't you get rid of it and add 25 years to your life by getting rid of all the bad foods and taking the 90 essential nutrients plus the specific, what we call secret sauces. We don't like to talk too much about the secret sauces. We just want you to take them. But if we said this secret sauce is good for this disease, everybody takes the secret sauce and it won't work perfectly because you're not taking the whole thing, you're not getting the other 90. And we don't want people just running out to the store and buying that one nutrient, that one herb or whatever it is, because it's not going to work perfectly. Okay. And so this is why we call them secret sauces. They're to be added to on the side. Okay. They're to be added to the formula on the side. They're not to be taken as the treatment for disease. The medical system uses it as the treatment for disease, and you get a little bit of reduction. You go from a 90% pain to an 80% pain. Oh, I can feel the edges off of it. I do have some pain relief. Well, you're still going to die early because you're not getting rid of the problem. You just relieve the symptoms a little bit. Okay, it's just like your car. If the engine's heating up, you put ice water in there instead of oil. The thermometer will show that the engine's cooler for a little bit, but it'll eventually burn up in a couple of days.
One other thing I want to ask you was, when you have a tooth abscess, what products do you recommend? If you have a tooth
abscess, you need to go to a dentist and see if it's one that needs to be removed, okay? Or if it's something that can be treated with an antibiotic and change your diet. You need a complete change in diet. Why do you get tooth abscesses? Okay.
Well,
the odds are they have osteoporosis of the skull and they have a big vacuum, a big hole there. Okay. And the bugs, the viruses and bacteria fill up that hole and create an abscess. Okay. So there's many things happening to create the abscess in the root of the tooth. It's not just one bug causing that. There's other things going on. The odds are they have osteoporosis of the skull when they have a dental abscess. That starts the whole thing happening. So you need to get a hold of the book. It's 6.
Well, I'm against the prescription, the drugs. So that's why I thought you have a natural approach to it.
Yeah, we have colloidal silver. Okay.
Okay.
Is the natural way to get rid of infections, whether it's bacteria, fungus, virus, bacteria, no matter what. Okay. If you have anything going on with bacteria and fungus and yeast and so forth, the colloidal silver will kill it. I took mine this morning before breakfast. I'm going to take it again before lunch here in a few minutes. We've got about 1 more minute here.
Have any abscess teeth, Dr. Wallach? So those are great questions, Jake. Thank you so much for being persistent and being on with us, figuring it all out. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jake. And
Yes, ma'am.
now, Dr. Wallach, we have enough questions for a 2-hour show. Folks, if we did not get to your question, please send your questions into questions@DailywithDoc.com. I know Dr. Wallach has another program after this that we need to make sure that he is not late for. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for being on Daily with Doc with us. And if I could get my co-hosts on the screen with me, I couldn't do this by myself. So I thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for being the founder of this crusade that allows all of us to be able to help you spread the message. So I have on the screen with me Sherry. Sherry is part of the tech team, helping to do all the setup for the live streams. We have Ruth Ellen, the executive production manager, who helps keep us all organized and is also responsible for being kind of the one that pulls all the information in and then pushes it out. So thank you so much, Ruth Ellen. We have Marilyn, who is doing dictation, putting that into the chat, which, folks, if you're not here live with us, you're missing out on that. We have Albert, who is letting people into the room so they can hear the program. We have Phyllis, who is out bringing in questions from the field out on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and others. Thank you so much, Phyllis. We have AJ, who is our director of digital marketing, and he has his hands up. And I'm going to remind people, Pharmacist Ben Bites tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure that you are tuned in either on Facebook, Rumble, YouTube, and get those notifications. It is not a live Zoom. It's a live program, but it's not a Zoom that is being pushed out to those platforms and others. AJ, what did I miss?
Well, I was going to get to that. If you had questions that didn't get answered with Dr. Wallach today, because Doc has got other shows to do today, send your questions to questions@dailywithdoc.com, and we'll try to address them on Pharmacist Ben Bites tonight. And follow us on YouTube, follow us on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and you'll get notified when we go live at 6 p.m.
And we'll be live tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow.
Yes, we will be back. Doc. Absolutely. We will be back tomorrow with you, Dr. Wallach, on Daily with Doc. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. Tell them thank you. And again, if there's no one to thank, we have a team standing by waiting to help you at 855-949-3377. And you can find Dr. Wallach's books at drjwallach.com. Or if you've got an Amazon account, especially if those of you that are outside of the United States, you can find a lot of Dr. Wallach's books there on Amazon, where they can be delivered to you without an extraordinary shipping cost. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes. If you would like to be part of our coaching program and learn or become a certified holistic health coach, learn about the 4 areas of health and how they are benefited by nutrition deficiencies, or how those nutritional deficiencies, sorry, I said that wrong, how those nutritional deficiencies affect our bodies and lead to poor health conditions, and the solutions to the deficiencies, go to DWD.com and you'll get information about our Certified Holistic Health Coach course. Until next time, bye for now. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences, and the individual results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach.